Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Neutral Voices. This is our Thursday night show, Voice of the People. And we're here because your voice matters, and we're really going to hear your voice tonight. But tonight, we're going to continue from last night. We had a great discussion about President Joe Biden in his first 333 days. Am I correct? So we were gonna grade him. We evaluated him last night. Now we're gonna grade him. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna break it down and we're gonna give him a grade of our opinion. Now your opinion might be different. We ask you to click like and share and also leave a comment to your opinion so we can evaluate and we can all see what we think President Biden is doing. Now we have a couple of categories: COVID, the budget, stimulus, Asian hate bill, the incident in Afghanistan, and the Vice President Kamala Harris. So we're going to get started. And consensus is we're going to start with the easiest one up front. Get it out the way. Let's see how we do this.
What do you call it? Easiest
I
one?
think it's the easiest one. You know who turned in their assignments. You know how to give a grade. You know what subjects they strong in and what subject they not in.
Well, I got a question. I mean, I know we want to jump into the first one, but I wasn't here yesterday. So, what was your thought process on Joe Biden? Give me a small run through.
Mine is that he is slightly adequate.
Okay.
Mine was that he's mostly inadequate.
Okay, Doc.
I feel like you cheating. You try to get some of my ideas before you actually have to. No, brother, we about to flip.
Seriously, what you had the thought process
See,
about?
I'm gonna need him to do his homework.
Do his
Watch the video.
I
He goes
did.
sleep- he's sitting next to the smart kid.
Yeah.
What's your thought process? Come on. talk to me.
You want me to just put it all in a nutshell?
Just they did.
I'm just saying, is that what you want me to do?
Oh my
I don't do
goodness!
that.
Why are you so difficult, man?
All right.
Just
all right.
wait, it's coming.
It's coming. All right, here we go.
Why are you letting her off easy? But go ahead.
Because I want to hear everybody debate.
That's it.
Here where we are. We're going to talk about the vice president, Miss Kamala Harris.
How are we gonna start there?
We're going to start with her.
All right.
Now, I'm going to start off the grade, and then I'm going to tell you why, and I want y'all to give y'all grade and your evaluation. Let's keep it brief. Now, Miss Kamala Harris, the grade I give her is an I. The I stands for incomplete, and I'm going to tell you why.
Incomplete or indigo?
Indigo. I'm going to go with incomplete. Here's why I'm going to say incomplete. I don't
Okay.
believe she's turned in enough homework for us to evaluate what she's doing. Her activity has been few and so far in between. It has not been consistent. For the last month, I don't think we really seen her, but I know we were looking at the most recently she met with the Prime Minister of Barbados.
Yeah.
So she is doing something,
She's
but
doing
is she doing up to par for the job? I'm not seeing enough homework.
So when you say
Well-
incomplete, though, man, break that down. What does incomplete look like?
Incomplete is I don't have enough evidence to give her a proper evaluation.
He don't wanna
There's not
fail her.
enough work put in to be able to say if she's passing or failing because there's nothing there.
She
So
hasn't
at
turned in anything.
334 days in, I mean, there should be something.
There should be.
Well,
We-
here's
and we don't know if there is.
Here-
Like I
here's
said,
a-
she
here's
has
a
done
few
some,
things.
but it's been so few. and
Like,
far
B got a
between.
list for us?
Well, it's just a few things, so, and I get it. I understand maybe she's missing in action more than some of the other vice presidents. You would like to see her more. I would
Right.
like to see her more. So she announced the $250 million global funding to fight future pandemics. She addressed the disease surveillance, vaccine development. These are things that she's pushing for and she's working on. Health care for workers or support for healthcare workers, future biological threats. She was in Central America at one point trying to help with different things dealing with the migrants. In other words, trying to see if they could keep them at home. What's going on? Because,
I got you.
okay, and then protecting voting rights. And then at one point, I remember seeing this when she was over at the Naval Academy graduation. I'm just saying, so she's doing things, they're not talking about it. Now, recently,
Can I add one thing to your list?
and I was just going to say this one thing. Recently, she took a trip overnight to Palm Springs. So nobody's talking about that. And they said they're not really sure what
Why?
that trip
She
was
went home.
about. It was, but so they're not talking about
She
it.
went home.
But they don't know why it was a sudden trip. So if
was
something
homesick.
happened, and maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. James got something.
So let's add to your list. Is it true that she said that there is no such thing as racism
I
in
didn't hear
America?
it. I didn't hear it, so I can't speak to that.
She
No.
did.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
I think he's going somewhere else with that.
Was
Oh, it-
up C stats. What your thing say?
Mine is incomplete.
For what?
Because there's not enough evidence of her work. And Doc V, a lot of that you gave, but over this course of time,
it's only been 333 days.
that's a whole lot of time.
I'm just saying, but we don't know
34
all the
days.
things.
334 days.
34 days now.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm saying, so I have to be honest. I haven't
That-
looked that close, but the things that they're making visible to us or accessible to us, that's all I can judge it on.
It's still
That's
early
why I
in
give
the
her I.
race.
It's not
Yeah.
enough.
Still
She hadn't turned in enough homework for me. Jill?
Ready? I give a C because we haven't seen her. So that's why I came up with the C. I feel like that we shouldn't have to dig up what the vice president has done in nearly a year. I feel like it should be more apparent. And I even if you look at President Biden as a vice president was rather active. So I'm not sure if it's just everything going on with COVID or what's happening as to why she's kind of not in the limelight anymore, or if maybe we just picked her because she was a woman and wasn't exactly vice president type material, but that is why I give a C.
That's a very astute. But that C, because you haven't seen her.
'Cause I haven't
go with
seen
that.
her.
You haven't
I
seen.
can't go with that.
That's awesome.
All right, Doc V, we're going to say you for last. Because I know I want to hear your argument.
Save me for last.
Yeah, or
I
her.
don't have an argument
Okay,
for.
well, let's
I
go.
don't have an argument for the vice president because I was just
What's your
focused
grade?
on Biden.
What's your
So-
grade for her and why?
C minus. I know we're not doing the minus and the plus,
Okay.
but yeah. So C minus just because I would like to see her more. I would like for her to be more active with women, doing things with women, doing things for Black women, and kind of pushing a little bit of her power in that direction. So that's why I said C minus.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm.
E?
NA.
NA?
Mm-hmm. No action.
No action?
Not
No.
available.
Got that, yeah. We
No
got 'em like-
action, none available. Just, I mean, and I'm gonna go with this. We ain't talked about all the other vice presidents.
Uh-huh.
She haven't made any type of movement. I'm gonna go this route with it. All the president's wives have done way more than she had ever done in this short period of time. Period. I mean, you gotta look at Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
She ran the place.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara Bush ran the place.
Well, you the president's wife. You
President
you
wife,
pres-
she's the vice president.
Yeah.
So I'm just
That's
saying.
a step down.
That's whatever. Whatever. But at the end of the day,
the woman in the bed with the president
it
is the
doesn't
president.
matter.
I just need you
I'm
to know
saying,
that.
these women ran the White House. You what's
She got
Bill
3
Clinton-
years left.
What was Bill Clinton's wife?
Hillary.
Hillary. She ran the United States.
She ran Bill.
She's still
Listen,
running
So
the
at the end of the day,
United
you
States.
have presidents' wives being out in the public and being a more boisterous than she ever has been. So I mean, I'm just going in there,
That's your
no
point.
action.
That's his
That's a
opinion.
great point.
That's his point.
That's his point. James, you got anything you want to give?
Yeah, man, I give her a B plus. The reason I give her a B plus is simply because she is a sister girl. With all due respect, and it's early in the game.
That's what Yeah,
And she's
got 3
dealing
years
with the fact that we are under a lot of restraints with COVID and what's going on in America right now. I think America's in a different place right now,
Mm-hmm.
a place we haven't been for generations. So definitely a B plus, one, because we want to encourage her, and we pray that she's able to do great things. It's still early. 334 days is a journey, but it's a journey with restraints. I think a lot of restrictions on her being mobile and being able to do things that she may do before the 4 years end. So definitely a B plus right now, and give her a little encouragement to do what she can. Focus on Black people.
Yeah.
Really, I'll
Yeah.
throw that out there. Yeah.
Yeah, focus on that. So that's for Biden and Vice President Harris. So let's go with, we're going to mix it up. We're not just going to go in order. Let's go with the Asian hate bill. Now we know what the Asian hate.
Oh, he
bill
get
is.
an F for that.
Wait a
I'll go
minute.
first.
Can I go?
Hold
Can I
on,
go?
hold on.
I want to go wild.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I should have
discussed-
interrupted the thing.
We
Oh,
discussed
man.
this last night, and we gave the history of the Asian hate bill,
Okay.
and we know the inception was when all these Asians in California and New York were getting beaten up by young black men. But what pushed it over was that spy incident. And was that in Atlanta or somewhere in Georgia? Correct.
It was.
And that's when he signed it, the executive order, and put it into place. So let's talk about the Asian hate bill. What do you think about the Asian hate bill and how President Biden handled the Asian hate bill? Jill got hers up first. What do you have on there, Jill?
So, F, because that should have been the first thing that was done, especially when you are trying to grab a specific group of voters. So he came up with this whole plan for Black America when that has been sitting on the desk for whoever knows how long. So you're talking about all these things that you want to do for black people, and you come in and you can't do the very first thing that you should do, so you get an F because you have failed, and it's still sitting there. And if you are for Black America, you would pull it up to the top. It seems like a very simple thing to do. So that's why.
E?
He gets an F.
For all
Hold
of
on.
you.
Hold on.
That's mine.
F plus.
I
two
think
Fs.
I'm just going to, he just flunked all the way around.
all the way around.
He just,
He's canceled.
I mean, you said it right. I mean, we've been fighting for the same bill for how long now? And he gives it to someone else. And the bill that he was supposed to be the first thing he was going to do when he walked into office, he hands it to the Asians. Come on, man. Let's be real about it.
What happened?
I mean, our vote, well, let me say this. Our vote's supposed to matter. You said all that stuff just to get our vote and got in office and turned your back.
Doc V, do you?
He rests his case.
He rests his case.
Well, I actually give him a B minus for that. And the reason I do is because I believe it was a lot more to it than we knew. I'm just saying because once the crime started during COVID and all of the people that were being abused and attacked, almost 3,000 Asians, and the way they were attacked. And if you Google it, if you look at it, I'm sorry, I have a heart for people, so they can't take it.
I
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm
fully
telling
engaged
you.
and I'm supporting you, Doc V.
Okay, so if you go way back, and so of course they already tried to make the Asians or Japanese back in the day the model minority. So you remember that all the way back then. And so what they were doing behind the scene was trying to put people of color against one another. And so if you go deeper into that, Trump kind of set some stuff off. And I mentioned that
Kung
last
Fu.
night when he started making fun of the Asians. Well, he started making it seem like they were the cause of the COVID,
Yeah,
right?
because of
And so
Wonton.
then people really
Wuhan?
started.
Is it Wuhan?
Yeah, you always have trouble with that.
Yeah,
But anyway, so people started really attacking the Asians.
Right.
And so when you have people attacking, I'm talking about some older people. We talking about people in their 80s. They were really beating these people up brutally. Google it. You can find it for yourself. But here's my thing.
Were there
So-
any deaths?
So behind the scene, I'm not sure. It seems like I remember reading something. He asked, were there any deaths? It seems like I remember reading
Was it
about that.
lynchings?
But what I'm getting ready to say, but listen. So the reason I said B minus is because, okay, so B minus is close to a C. But either way, I'm just saying that he did make a move and he did do something to step in. Now, the reason that he didn't get an A was because the other bill, the black bill is what I'm going to call it, has been there for a gazillion years, even before Trump is how I feel. So we know this has
Right,
been going on
right.
forever. And so I feel like that should have been brought up a lot sooner. And yes, it should have been passed when Trump was in office.
But he didn't.
So
he
it's
didn't
been
promise.
it's been sitting on the desk that long.
He didn't promise the Asians all kinds of stuff when he was running for office.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about the promise. It's
He
about
didn't promise. He didn't promise the Asians that he's gonna do X, Y, Z for them while he was running for office. Who did he promise everything he said he was gonna
it's
do?
Still,
I'm just asking
he
a question.
Still has 3 years.
I'm,
He still has 3 years.
he got still
so
got.
I'm just
hold
saying.
on. You said
I'm
out
patient.
of 300. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
He still. You keep saying he still got 3 years, right?
He has
But
3
it took
years.
him. It took him 100 and something days to pass an Asian bill.
And
But,
like I
but
said,
you're saying he still got 3 years
there's
and
more
screw is
to it.
over.
I believe there's
That's
more
what he
to
said.
it than we know. So
Okay.
all I can say is that's my vote,
we got
my
you.
grade.
got
Hey,
you.
I
So-
respect that.
Great,
I respect
that.
Yes.
All right, mine is a D. And I'm going to say, I do have to agree with Doc B because only to this point, I didn't want to see anybody being brutalized.
For the
like
record,
these-
they're Democrats.
I'm sorry?
They're Democrats.
No,
for the record.
no, not for the record.
Catch
no.
Yes.
that, everybody. They're
No.
Democrats.
Yes.
They're
I'm
devout
a voter.
Democrats.
I'm a voter. I'm a
just putting that out there.
Look at him.
Hey,
But no,
E,
no,
E, cross the room, baby.
it's all out of love.
Who Democrats?
It's all I love. But here's what I'm saying. I agree to the point that the elderly didn't need to be brutalized, but that's the only saving grace. But here's where he falls down. E is right. He promised black people X, Y, and Z. We hadn't even got X yet. We ain't even looking at Y and Z in 100 days. And it took, this bill moved so fast. It moved way too fast. Now, James asked if there was any deaths. The only deaths that I believe was in Georgia, and I believe there was
Correct.
a shooting in Colorado that
Mhm.
involved some
Mhm.
Asian people. But that's what made him push it into the executive order.
But how many deaths was black? Oh, okay. I'm just
getting
asking
there.
a
I'm getting there.
question.
I'm
I'm just
getting there.
asking a question.
And and since then, I mean, there still hasn't been any movement in the black community, in the black promise, in the black. And I understand what you said, Doc V. He has 3 years, but as soon as he put that executive order on that Asian bill,
It should have been one.
it should have been.
I think it should have been all
It should have.
encompassing.
It should have been all encompassing.
Mhm.
Or But before I get to this Asian bill, since it's sitting right here, let me go and finish this one off first, and then. But no,
But did we really expect somebody who backed the crime bill in the 90s and called African Americans super predators to come out and pull this hate bill for Black America? I mean, you have to look at some of the things that he's said and some of the things that he's done. We all know what the crime bill did to the Black community. So are we putting, too many expectations on this person to come in and be somebody that he's never been? So, I mean, you also have to look at that, the history of Biden, the history of the things that he said, his actual, how he represents his feelings for people of different races. I mean, you can't ignore that.
all right, Mr. Independent, what you got up there?
You know I'm independent, baby. So the most relevant thing, man, is when you look at Biden. Biden was the right-hand man to a black president, the only black president that we had.
Yes.
And there was not a bill passed to protect black people under the presidency of a black man
Right.
when Biden was his right-hand man.
Mm-hmm.
So like Jill said, you can't expect that, brother. Well, I'm not going to say that because people can change, okay?
They can.
So he does have 3 more years, so we don't know what's coming. So I'm going to give you my grade real quick. I got about 5 Fs
I thought you, I was
with
gonna
blue
say, I thought you said it
stars,
was an
and
F.
since the background is white, it's a red, white, and blue F.
I got you.
I'm just going to be real
I
about it.
got you.
It's a patriotic F.
Patriotic. F.
Very patriotic. But I do
He
understand,
failed
man.
in grace.
Correct. In grace. But I do understand, man, that there's still a lot of room for work to be done.
Mhm.
But we need to understand this, that he is the 46th president of the United States
Yes.
of America.
Mhm.
Black people have been oppressed, depressed, and put down under every leadership that we've had.
Yes.
We
Correct.
can't expect it to change if we stay united or divided
Right.
as a people that we are. They
Right.
understand this, they know this, and they use it to their advantage. Like E said, they come in, when it's time to go for the election, what do?
They come to the black
They
community.
tell you a dream. They sell you
Yeah.
everything at the same time. One thing I will say to black people, man, is like, why do we show our allegiance to any side, the left or the right? We've had Republicans, we've had Democrats.
Mhm.
Why do we show our allegiance? And to hear a black person say, well, I'd rather vote for the lesser of the two
Oh, I don't
evils.
like that one either.
That is
I don't like
insane
that. That
to
is
me.
crazy.
You're telling me you're not even listening to what they're saying. I'm kind of on the soapbox right now, and I
Yeah.
understand that too.
Yeah.
But the reality is, man, like he gets an F because to put anything in front of LGBTQ was passed up under black leadership.
Yeah.
Changed the laws for somebody's sexual preference in America.
Right.
Reformed the entire country,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
You come in and you pass a bill for Asians.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy that stood next to the black guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about black people, man, that have been oppressed for how long?
Ever.
Man, I
You
ain't
know
got
it's
enough.
gonna
I
be you
ain't
drop
got
the
enough
four
room
off
to
of
put.
that ever.
And I show love and remorse for any human that's treated wrong. It's not good.
Right.
But at the same time, man, black people should be at the top of the chart, first on the agenda. Mr. President, I'm gonna give you Mr. right now. Somebody in the noble office, take this thing right here, this patriotic elf, and show it to the president. Man, you need to do better by black people. You got 3 years to do and keep your word, what you promised you would do for black America. We watching.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. All right. All right. Now let's go to Afghanistan. Now, we talked about the history of Afghanistan. You know, he pulled out the troops and brought refugees here. And the main thing, and a lot of people are in uproar about the refugees. And that's where I stand. I'm going to give him a C on this because I'm not going to hold him wholly responsible. This is 20 years in the making. It fell in his lap. Somebody finally had to do something. So he did something. Was it the right thing? That's not for me to call, but he did something. Where he does not get anything higher is because you're bringing foreigners here and giving them better treatment than you gave the people that were over there fighting to save those people. You got homeless veterans. They want to cut veterans medical, which is already almost non-existent. So it's a lot of stuff that's going. These people, where black people and even the people that were over there fighting. I mean, how you gonna treat somebody better? These people volunteered to go give their life, and you gonna bring people. So I can give them credit for doing something, but not doing it completely is not for me.
Yep.
Well, I'll go with a B minus. And I'm gonna tell you why. He brought our fellas home. I mean, first thing first.
Good point.
Yeah.
He brought our people home.
Right.
And I have to give him kudos for that. Right. I mean, he said it best. We've been over there 20 years, and if we ain't got what we needed to get accomplished in 20 years, we will never get anything accomplished. Hey, our troops need to come home.
Yes.
And then to understand that the president of Afghanistan and all everybody else cut out, what's the point of me having my boys there and you running?
Mm-hmm.
So let's do that. And he get the minus part because he brought the refuse back. And like you said, we got people in the United States need what he's trying to give these refugees. I mean, it's simple as that.
Yeah.
Now, if he would have brought them brought the refugees back, he would have got an A+ for that. But I can't see taking care of somebody else when you're not even taking care of home.
Good point.
Yep.
Dr. or Jill, which one?
I give a C for both of these reasons. I do believe that a withdrawal was necessary. It has been for quite some time, but I also think that it was hasty and chaotic because of the reasons that were both mentioned. The refugees, the people that are already suffering here, the Americans left on Afghan soil. I mean, there's a lot to it. That's why people are calling it messy, but it was time.
Yep, same thing. I did a C minus because I felt the same thing. Kind of funny. I actually have the same words, Jill. So we were looking up this. We're looking at some of the same stuff. But anyway, I felt the same as far as it being chaotic and how fast that happened. I felt like they didn't, since they had to know that they were getting ready to do this, I don't feel like they prepared the United States for it as far as the people getting here. So they didn't make the proper provision so that when they got here, everything was in place. The fact that they lost 13 service leaders that were killed during the process. So I have down here the bailout gone bad is what I'm calling it. So with that, the points off for self-inflicted or afflicted wounds, and the fact that they left the $1 billion worth of equipment there to me to help the Taliban. And so, that's how come I gave them the C minus. Yeah.
Brother Scott?
Okay, so I got 3 for him.
3.
First, you get an A for bringing the troops home, right?
Uh-huh.
Reality. Can't never say anything bad about that.
Right.
B, for the financial refill. In other words, let's wrap our head around how much money that they have infused into our country,
Mm-hmm.
to the general population, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at that, we all think and can assume that America has one of the largest corporations on earth. Reality. I think we can agree with that. So just imagine, man, if you're spending $300 a day on $300 million average on a day to fight a war that you know is inevitable to be the same result after you leave
Mm-hmm.
that place, correct?
Right.
So to take that money and bring it home in such a time as this, man, that's awesome. So you get a B for that. And then for the refugees, I gave them a C because it's the humane thing to do. Their word is that they say that the reason they did that was because those people supported them when they were in a foreign country on foreign land to help them do what they were doing. So, man, just got to give him, he did a decent job on that. And as far as equipment that was left behind, everything's intentional. These cats are very strategic and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So no complaints on that one, really.
So that was consensus. Pretty much, everybody was fair on that. Now, let's deal with the stimulus and the budget. Now, we all know that COVID has put a strain on a lot of businesses, a lot of jobs, and people were out of jobs for a while. And then all of a sudden, this free flow of money showed up. Where did it come from? And now they're saying that do we have enough money to stay open after December? So between the stimulus and the budget, Jill, you haven't went first yet. Go. What's your grade on that?
A D with a sad face in the middle. Because
Patriotic.
I think back to Biden talking about his American Rescue Plan. So when I look at what has happened thus far, regardless of COVID and all these extra things that have been put in here, I mean, we have to be fair and say that it doesn't really feel like America is being rescued right now. So that's kind of what I'm putting it up against, and where all of this money is just coming from all of a sudden. And I think that we are heading towards a very bad spot as far as the budget goes and the spend trend is going. So that's why D with a sad face.
Dr. V?
D, I don't have the sad face, but because of his spending plan, and he's likely to create over a $3 trillion deficit by the end of this first year, and adding to the existing debt to obviously make that $29 trillion. And so right now we can see inflation increasing. I just heard from somebody last night that a loaf of bread is already over $3.
It's ridiculous.
A loaf of
And
bread?
a
You're
loaf
seeing
of
it.
bread.
Everything you're
And
seeing it.
yes, and so I definitely say D, and especially when we can't, to me, you can't get these people to get back to work because they kind of got used to some of the
Yep,
help
absolutely.
and handouts.
I'm going to give him a D as well. Now, the plus is that the people that truly lost their jobs, that needed unemployment, and they needed that extension, that helped those people get through. You couldn't let them fall. But then this extra money, I mean, you condition people to just not want to work anymore. I mean, and then the money you gave, what did it stabilize or substantialize? So you had all this money you didn't have money for free health care or nothing else, or money was tight for everything else. But all of a sudden there was this free flow of money. And now that the free flow of money has stopped, now they're saying, oh, my mistake. We spent too much. That's what you said with budgeting. His budgeting was not, accurate, And still, I can't. We don't know what's going to happen after December. We don't know because they say that they're not going to have enough money to operate after December 9th.
Man, they ain't had enough money for 3 decades.
Right, but they come up with it.
Yeah.
Let the story be told.
Yeah.
Sorry, C-Stats.
You're right.
Just
You're
had to
right.
throw that out there. But
No,
reality, we've
you're
been
right.
hearing that for generations.
Yeah, go ahead. E?
Well, I'm gonna give him a D plus, and the reason why I give him a D plus is because, like Stat said, he gave out money, and what he should have did was give out money and say still go to work. That's what he should have said. But instead, he gave out money, sit at home. Continue to sit at home. Just sit at home. I'm gonna keep making sure y'all get money. Just sit at home. Now, you sit at home now. Sitting at home then, you ain't got lazy. You ain't got incomplacent. You got dormant. And you know the funny part about it, at that time he was giving money out, and I also blame the people that got the money who didn't do anything with the money. Now if I'm getting $1,000 a week. If you held that money, say you saved up for 5 weeks, you could have started a business right out the gate. He wasn't giving them that thought process. Use this money to start a business, to start something, to do something, to keep yourself moving, keep yourself motivated. He said, sit at home. Here's more money. Sit at home. Here's more money. And now that these jobs are begging for people to come to work, these people don't want to get up off their butt because they ain't got lazy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I give you kudos for giving out money when at the time of need, but you should have shut the gate off a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that situation was created.
You know,
Right.
and before we throw it to James, you said something very pertinent. How was I getting $1,000 a week and I needed that $1,000 the next week to survive?
Mhm.
That didn't make sense to me
at all.
You just got $1,000 last week, but by the end of the week, you need that next $1,000. That's impossible.
I mean, all that money did was give Amazon a lot more money.
No, seriously.
Seriously, that's all it really
It stimulated big business. It did. It stimulated the
did.
wrong people.
Yeah. So I mean, you gave out money to the poor to make the rich richer.
Mhm.
Yes. James?
I definitely, man, got to give him a B for that because people needed the financial support, really. There was not enough time, man, to mentally prepare them or teach them to do what they needed to do with the money. So we have to understand that. But at the same time, to see the new Hardee's that just opened up here on the corner of Ruderso and Calhoun Street, and they got a sign up on the drive-through that says closed due to the fact that we're short on employees.
Right.
It's a reality check.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, Doc B, you say you go in the store and you see a loaf of bread that's over $3 and something, but you give people a raise, then inflation comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're seeing at its best is capitalism absorb our country
Mm-hmm.
is what we're dealing with. So that's where I stand with that, man. Instead of beating a dead horse, we all said kind of the same stuff. But
All right. Last but not least, and we saved this for last because I think we didn't beat this up way too much. I mean,
is this a grade where we judge him on the basketball court?
no. This is his handling of the COVID, the vaccine, and the mandates. Now, what more can we say? We didn't say all we can about COVID, so I'm just going to get to the grades. James, you want to start us off with your grade?
Yeah, man, it's kind of hard to grade this one, so I'm going to leave this one with a definitely eye for incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I do that is because there's so much that we don't know. I don't think we've been told the truth from the beginning. I think we're in limbo as far as understanding what's going on because they have hidden the truth.
Mm-hmm.
To tell me that you're mandated to take a vaccine that does not prevent you from being a carrier
Mm-hmm.
of the same. And then at the same time, they say that you can't die from it, but we know that people have been dying from it. I mean, it's just in limbo, so definitely incomplete without beating a dead horse.
Right.
I think they should have came out, told the truth from the beginning, and still today they should tell the truth so that the people can know and make a decision to do what they feel is best for them.
All right. And I'm going to give, for some of those same reasons, but I have to give an F. And this is why I have to give an F. Because you knew what was going on in the last leg of the presidency prior to you and what was going on. But you came in.
Explain when you say last leg.
Well, that COVID came in 2019, correct? That's why it's called COVID-19. And that is the final stretches of President Trump's presidency.
I really want you to explain this because I went on set last night when y'all was talking about how Trump left the stage for Biden to take over. So
No,
Oh, they said that?
no.
oh yeah,
No,
No, they did.
no,
yeah.
he didn't listen correctly. Because what I said is that when a new coach comes in, he brings his playbook. So Biden should have came in with a whole new playbook and started it from the gate. That's exactly
No,
what
somebody
I said.
said he hid information from Biden, so Biden
Can I get in?
didn't get to do everything.
Can I get in on this one?
Well, we gonna get off track. I really wanted
Yeah.
to nail that
Yeah.
home,
So
but Democrat again.
So-
we gotta. Go ahead, C stats. Democrat.
Whatever, man.
Democrat.
But here's why I'm gonna give him an F, man. Because, and it's not about, but you knew what was coming or what was you're gonna be dealing with. He had enough time to formulate a plan, get a plan, come in, look. And I don't think the vaccine was the plan. And I don't believe in the mandating that you have to tell somebody they have to take something against their free will.
True that.
So with the mandate, I can't do that. I can't believe that. And it's crazy. But James, you were right. It's been a mess from the beginning. From the denial when the last presidency, and even coming in, the way it's been handled, the information, it's just been a mess. And I don't think anybody handled it well. So I'm just giving it an F.
I've also given it an F, but with flowers. I would really like to just go in on this because I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm already almost banned from Facebook, so I don't want to get canceled. But I do think that Biden used, and the whole Biden administration, the government period, used this pandemic to basically declare World War III. That is my opinion. Everything has fallen apart. Division has been created. Control, I mean, you use fear to control a country. You use fear to control a people. This has not been handled well from the very get-go. So, in fact, get rid of the flowers and just the F.
E?
You get 12 of them. And this don't mean for fights.
I think it means for fighting.
No. First and foremost, he didn't come in with a plan. I'm gonna tell you that out the gate.
I
No,
agree with that.
He didn't come in with a plan. And then on top of that, my biggest thing is the mandation.
Mhm.
That's just totally wrong.
Mhm.
I mean, you violating people's constitutional rights,
Right.
and you doing it knowingly.
Yes.
Now you trying to bully people.
Right.
I do not like bullies. I can't stand a bully. So now he's being a bully to me.
Mhm.
Now I don't really like you now because now I want to fight you.
Wow.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
You should
So-
file a lawsuit.
Yeah. I mean, and I commend the states that are fighting back.
So mean.
Well, I don't like bullies. Period.
B for bully.
Nah. I'm the bully's bully. So I love the states that's fighting back, and then on top of that, the lies on top of lies on top of lies. You don't know what to believe, and then on top of that, what is the agenda? Why you keep pushing it?
Mhm.
So it's just so many things behind this where it's just like, bruh, I can't believe you. I can't believe your doctor. I can't believe nobody you put in front of me to tell me what's going on with this vaccine.
Mhm.
Period. So why should I trust it if I don't believe it?
Good stuff, E.
Good. Doc V, that leaves us with you.
Yep, and I give him a big fat B minus. And I give him a B minus because I mean, when we look at this, he obviously didn't create COVID. And so to just try to stick all the blame on one person, I don't believe that's fair. And all you can do is, okay, at the beginning, I believe he was over promising things that he was going to do as far as the pandemic. I believe he underestimated the power of COVID and that the variant was coming, and he wasn't anticipating Delta to be what it is. And so all you can do is wait and see. And as the people were getting vaccines and people were saying, no, I'm not getting the vaccine, that's all he can do. So meanwhile, he was pushing for masks. We know we always seen him wearing his mask. So he was pushing for that, pushing for the vaccine, for people to keep themselves safe. And so that's all you can do during this. I believe that COVID surprised everybody, took everybody by storm. So I can't blame everything on him, but I did not give him an A because it seems like he did forget people with underlying health conditions or people with religious reasons for not getting the vaccine. So those were my reasons for and not failing him just all out, because it did seem like he was concerned at a certain point.
Yeah. And we're going to close because we don't want to beat a dead horse. But James did say this, and for us to show alliance to one party or the other, because no party has ever dealt with us fairly. But here's what I'm saying. There has to be some kind of change right now. What's been working has not, what's been going on has not been working. So we need to figure out something. Now, if you have a grade for President Biden, and hope Jill don't get us banned, but you can leave us a comment on Facebook. Tell us what your grades is and give us your honest opinion. We'll listen and we'll address it at another time. But we thank you for being with us tonight. We hope that you'll be with us come next week. We're going to have a new topic that we're going to discuss, and we're going to have a whole lot of other information to give you.
Who's the next president?
Who's the next president?
Who's the next
James.
president?
Let's go with James Scott.
Who's the next president?
James, you gonna run for president?
If Trump win again, if he run again, will he win?
He might.
He
If
might.
Trump run again,
might
will he
just
I'm
win?
gonna
win.
say yes.
What do
He
you
might
think?
just
I'm gonna
win.
say
If
yes.
Trump run again, you think he'll be president?
I
again?
think he
Yes.
might just win.
Yep.
Man, they better do something. If they don't do better than what they doing,
I mean,
It's
I,
like
I
handing
like.
the baton
Hey,
to him.
I know what with
It-
Trump. I know what's in the room.
They got 3 years, guys.
Yeah.
I know
They
what's
got
in the
3
room
years.
with Trump.
they do.
They got 3 years.
Okay, we're gonna give him 3 years.
I heard some chumps in the room.
I'm
I'm
ready.
not a Trump fan, but I know what I
What
get
it
with
look
Trump.
like?
But,
All right.
all right. But we thank you again and have a good night.
You got stuck there,
See
brother?
ya. Thanks for tuning in.
I know. I was like, why is it?